Hi, are you a newcomer to blacksmithing who doesn't have the tools to get started yet? Are you a beginner to intermediate blacksmith with an improvised anvil such as a track or a sledgehammer head? Well, if you're part of one of those groups, you're probably waiting on that deal of a lifetime on an antique anvil. Well, too bad. Antique anvils are ridiculous. The prices are high, the availability is low, and they can be pretty hard to find. But what if I told you there was another option? That's right. I'd like to talk about modern anvils today. So first off, I'll just talk about my anvil for a second. This is a vanadium steel anvil. It's a 70-pound one that was 3 or 4 different weights, and they came from the Sears and Roebuck catalog back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. I've seen a handful of these, but I'll make a video about the antique anvils I've come across, the ones I've bought, and the ones I've missed out on later. But for now, I have a list of, I think, all or most of the modern anvil manufacturers that there are, their general pattern shapes, and their prices, just so that y'all know that there are options. So first, we have a Chayo or Vever. That's the blue, the double horn ones you get on Amazon and on the Vever website that you see them all over the place, Facebook Marketplace, YouTube, all over the place. The most common weights are going to be 66 pound and 132 pound. And I think the 66 one costs $180, and the heavier one, the 132 one, costs $360. Next, we have Atlas anvils. They range from 65 pounds all the way up to 117 pounds, and they're going to be knife maker anvils. They're going to be flat. They have hardies on the side, on the bottom edge. They're not going to have a horn, and they're not going to have a tapered heel. It's basically just a flat block for you to make knives on if that's your deal. And those prices range from $364 on the light end to $580 on the heavy end. Next, we're going to have Cliff Carroll anvils, and these are going to range from 35 pounds all the way up to 125 pounds. And they're going to be farrier's anvils. They kind of have a tapered heel with cams, or they'll have cams on the side. They look a little different, but those prices range from $240 on the lighter end to $705 on the heavier end. Next up, we're going to have Emerson anvils. These are going to range from 50 pounds, just 200 pounds. They're going to be a London pattern anvil, just something like that, a really traditional flat heel horn London pattern. And those prices are going to range from $595 on the light end to $1,733 on the heavy end. Those ones can get a little pricey. Next, we're going to have Conca anvils, and those are going to range from 44 pounds up to 165 pounds. They're going to be double horn anvils. They're kind of funky looking, if I remember right, with kind of a really narrow waist. And they're going to be double horns, so tapered heel, flat heel, and of course a round horn on the front. And those are going to range from $320 on the light end to $1,195 on the heavy end. Next, we're going to have anvils from Mathewson Metals. The only anvil that they offer is a 125-pound old school no horn style anvil, like an old English anvil with no round horn, no tapered horn. It's a flat block on either end. It just comes up and it's flat on top. I'll have pictures of these on screen as I go. Next is going to be NC anvils. Those are going to range from 70 pounds to 112 pounds, and they're going to be more farrier anvils with cams and kind of odd shapes and stuff like that. And these are the ones notoriously seen on the Forged in Fire TV show on the History Channel. And those are going to range from $407 on the light end to $865 on the heavier end. Next up is going to be Scott anvils. These are going to range from 75 pounds to 250 pounds. It looks like they have several patterns to choose from. It probably won't just be London, and there will probably be several ones to check on. I'll put some pictures up on the screen. And those prices are going to range from $545 on the light end to $1,866 on the heavy end. Next up is going to be Texas Farrier Supply. These ones are pretty popular in the modern anvil market. The only ones I looked at was the double horn, but I think they have 3 or 4 other patterns that they offer. For the double horn, the weights are going to range from 100 pounds to 400 pounds, and the prices are going to be $755 on the lightest end and $3,192 on the heavy end. Next up, we're going to have Rhino anvils. The weights range from 140 pounds to 240 pounds. They have a tapered horn. It's almost a double horn, but not quite. It has a round horn on the front, and the heel tapers back to a blunt point or to a blunt edge, but it's not a point. And those prices are going to range from $1,725 up to $2,025. Next, we're going to have rigid anvils. I'll get some pictures of them, but I haven't really been able to find a reliable place to buy them. I know you can find them on the rigid website, but there's not really a buy it now option, and they can kind of be elusive, so to speak. But they're double horn patterns. They'll have a round horn up front and a tapered flat horn on the back that comes to a point. And because I couldn't find the actual listings, I don't have prices or weights listed here. Next, we're going to have Reflinghaus anvils. Looks like the weights range from 275 pounds up to 460 pounds. And this is the same situation with the rigid. They're going to be double horned, sort of like German pattern, tapered to a point, round horn up front. And I can't really find any online, so I don't have prices listed here. Next, we're going to have Fontanini anvils. Now, I'll put pictures of these up, but they've kind of been up in the air. I know I've seen them come off the market. I think the gentleman that started it sold it, and I don't think they were producing them for a long time. But these were top of the line when they were available. You might have to do some research on that. They kind of had an ode to a church window anvil on the side. They were kind of sculpted. They were really, they had two models, two weights. I think it was 260 and 460. That might be wrong. And the prices were up there in the thousands, but they were some of the best modern anvils you could get when they were out. But keep an eye out for them and do your research on them, because they may come back up on the market. I'm really not sure. Next, we're going to have Holland anvils. The weights are going to range from 20 pounds, they have really light ones, all the way up to 390 pounds. A lot of them are out of stock. It looks like they have trouble keeping them in stock, so I couldn't really get prices because they didn't have them listed on the out of stock listings. But they have several different patterns. They have some with no horns. They have London patterns. They have several different things. They also have swage blocks, for what that's worth. Next, we're going to have big blue anvils. These are going to range from 150 pounds to 265 pounds, and the prices are going to range from $1,795 all the way up to $2,495. And these are going to be double horn anvils as well. Next, we're going to have Nimba anvils. These are probably one of the most unique out of the bunch. They're going to range from 120 pounds all the way up to 450 pounds. The prices are going to range from $975 all the way up to $2,575. And these are kind of modern French pig style anvil. So they're definitely interesting. I think they're made out of Washington State, so they're USA made and they're special. Next is going to be Anvil brand. They have several different branches from Anvil brand. You've got JHM and you've got Valley Forge. I think they made Swan. There's several different brand name anvils that Anvil brand makes. You can find them online, but they offer tons of different patterns, and it looks like the weights range from 120 to 200 pounds, and the prices are going to range from $795 up to $1,391. So do your research on those. But what I'm trying to get at is that you don't always have to wait on the deal of a lifetime on antique anvils. They're really hard to find, or they can be hard to find if you don't know where to look and if you're just starting out. And a lot of times they're just in bad shape. You know what I mean? They're not in good shape. People want a lot of money for them. I put up screenshots earlier in the video where you can see some of the prices on Marketplace. I just pulled those yesterday for this video. And I just want to illustrate that there's options out there for new ones. Shipping is going to be expensive, and they're going to be expensive in the first place. But when people are wanting thousands of dollars for antique ones that are beat up or broken or chipped or you name it, you just be better off getting the new one. You'll get your money's worth. And if you think about it this way, the more modern anvils we introduce into the market, getting bought and sold into, getting bought and sold secondhand, it'll incentivize manufacturers to keep making modern anvils, which is something that we need to keep happening because we don't need them to completely dry up. B, it'll keep new anvils into the market, which will increase supply, lower demand, and subsequently lower prices on the antique ones. So eventually, if we all start buying the new ones and sort of flooding the market with new ones, I think it'll all even itself out, and we can see more antiques go for more reasonable prices. So I think it's good for everybody. I think it's good for the hobby. I think it's good for the craft if we start buying modern anvils. Personally, I've had my eye on the Texas Farrier Supply Smitty Special 2, the 200-pound one, and that'll be a big double horn, pointed flat on one end, round horn on the other, and it has a shelf sticking out of the side. I think the heavier ones, the 300 and 400, might have upsetting blocks, but that's the one I've been looking at, along with Nimba. Those are really cool. But regardless, there's options. There's options. If you've got the coin to drop, you know what I mean? Because the old ones just don't come about that easily. So look into those. I've got pictures up. I won't have links, but they're not hard to find. I know Centaur Forge probably has half of these on their website. Texas Surrey Supply has their own website. Nimba has their own website. So just look into it. I mean, you could find them. You know, it's going to be better than spending way too much money on an antique that isn't really worth that much in the first place. So get to looking if you're getting started, and I'll probably have one before long myself. So y'all have a good day.